We're heading into Week 11 of Fantasy Baseball. It's time for your pitching planner presented by Holiday Inn. Change is everywhere. Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz, Eric Mack, and speaking of change, his venue. He is here in New York as opposed to Florida.
Sans the jacket.
Hey, well, sans the jacket. But listen, you're on vacation, and vacation for you means checking out all the ballparks around the Northeast, and that included Wednesday night, New York, Boston, and so that leads us into what we always talk about every single week, or what you and Lawrence seem to talk about every single week. Yankees pitching. Chien-Ming Wang, Phil Hughes, Joba Chamberlain. Give us the revolving door here.
Yeah, Chien-Ming Wang getting beat up again. It's going to be a start-to-start basis with Chien-Ming Wang, but with Phil Hughes ready in the bullpen and still a little stretched out. He went 3 innings in that game. He can replace Chien-Ming Wang on a starts notice. Maybe just one more start for Chien-Ming Wang. This might be a thing that alternates back and forth. The big news about it, though, is Joba Chamberlain now cannot slot in the bullpen because they cannot start Wang and Hughes in the rotation. Wang obviously is not a guy they can trust. So Chamberlain is going to stay a starter until he reaches about 150 innings, 180 innings, and then maybe go back to the bullpen.
Yeah, Wang's ERA the highest ever for a major league for his first 5 starts in a season. Not good, but his track record has been good. So that by them saying they're giving him another shot here and keeping him in the rotation, you'd think he's going to get that down from 21.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You saw him in person, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure it can happen.
Well, we'll see what else moves on. Meanwhile, speaking of switching guys in and out of the bullpen, there's a lot of closers that are being replaced, not because of poor performance, but because of injuries right now.
Yeah, and what you're talking about is in the second game, we went to the Mets versus the Phillies. Ryan Madson got saves on back-to-back days with Brad Lidge on the DL, another knee problem. That knee has bothered Brad Lidge in the past, but Madson is a guy you can trust right now. He's a good closer on a great team that can get him a lot of save opportunities. So you can start him in any league.
What about C.J. Wilson for Frank
Yeah,
Francisco?
another surprising contender in Texas. C.J. Wilson is decent right now. Not a guy I necessarily trust in all mixed leagues, but you saw with Frank Francisco, he was getting a lot of opportunities because Texas can score runs and they can win a lot of ball games.
All right, the big question for pitching planners in terms of for fantasy baseball a couple of weeks ago was when were the Braves going to call up Tommy Hanson? And when they got rid of Tom Glavine, they brought him up, and it wasn't a good start. It's been mixed reviews. What do you suggest people should do with him right now?
Well, you have to hold him because Tommy Hanson, that one start was a bad one. You can look back to Tim Lincecum's one bad start when he debuted, and then after that it's been lights out, and Tommy Hanson is that kind of talent. He knocks out batters at an alarming rate, and he's going to be, I still say this, he's going to be the best rookie pitcher in fantasy and baseball this season.
Who are the next contributors to come up like Tommy Hanson right now?
We might not get Clay Buchholz, but the Red Sox, if they make a move, maybe make a trade with Brad Penny. Clay Buchholz is a guy that you got to watch. He's an elite talent. And then Madison Bumgarner, if the Giants make a move with Jonathan Sanchez, Bumgarner is an elite 20-year-old pitching prospect who can be lights out just like a Lincecum.
And then if Steven Strasburg ever gets signed by the Nationals, then we'll be talking about that one as well. All right, let's get into our must-starts and our must-sits. Let's do your must-start 2-start pitcher and your must-sit 2-start pitcher.
Yeah, John Lackey, he's been struggling. His ERA's in the high 6s right now, but I still trust him. He's got a decent matchup to start the week, and I think you can still start John Lackey in all leagues. And then your must-sit, we've already talked about this, is Chien-Ming Wang. You cannot trust him because you put him in your lineup, he's going to give you big negatives. A high ERA is going to blow up your rotisserie team, so don't trust Chien-Ming Wang. It's a little too obvious right now.
I would say until that ERA gets below 14, maybe just come down by 7 points, then you keep him off. All right, what about your Holiday and change of the week? Changes everywhere.
The Angels are struggling right now in the rotation. I just mentioned Lackey. Santana got beat up. And then Calvin Escobar returned from the DL, didn't really look strong enough, and they said this could happen. If his shoulder cannot go 6+ innings, they have depth. They got Matt Palmer, who was a 5-0 rookie to start the season. They're going to use Matt Palmer in the rotation. They're going to slot Escobar in relief, and Escobar might never start again.
Yeah, and he got roughed up again the last time he started, and Irvin Santana got roughed up against the Rays on Thursday night. All right, what about your 2-start pitch sleepers, guys that are owned in 50% or less?
Yeah, Dallas Braden, the A's have a bunch of rookies in their rotation, but Braden is one of the guys who's not a rookie. He is their ace. He was their opening day starter, and he is actually a guy you can trust now in mixed leagues. At LA Dodgers and San Diego, that second matchup is particularly good. So in deeper leagues, you can trust Dallas Braden. And then Doug Davis, he's a little unheralded. The D-backs are having an awful season, but Doug Davis's ERA is still in the mid-3s, and even though he was beat up last time out at Kansas City, at Seattle, those teams don't really score a lot of runs, so you might be able to get some use out of Doug Davis this week.
Real quickly, obviously with those teams that you just mentioned, it's interleague this week. In case people didn't recognize that or didn't realize that we're all ready to minor league part of the season in terms of full terms. In terms of pitchers, and especially National League pitchers going into American League ballparks where they're going to have to face DHs, do you change your thoughts at all?
Yeah, you can wean yourself off some National League pitchers that are facing the DH for the first time, but in general, I wouldn't go into that minutia.
All right, that's it for your Week 11 pitching planner. Good luck this week, and you're back with more next week. For Eric, Mack, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care, folks.